We all know Tank best weight is 35, 40. He fought Barrios at 40, 35, 40. And you fight Jake Paul, getting better. I'm like I said, and he got 6 feet tall. Where Tank gonna hit him?
Fighter, I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power.
Deep, dramatic boxing announcer voice. Heavy tone, steady speed, full of suspense and adrenaline, like a fight promo. Gervonta Tank Davis kicked off his training camp for the Jake Paul fight with explosive intensity. On day 1, during pad work, he ripped through a blistering 35-punch combination, showcasing his trademark speed, timing, and knockout power. Every sharp movement reflected the focus he's bringing into camp. Analysts say this was more than just a workout. It was a statement. Tank is preparing to dismantle Jake Paul with discipline, experience,
so cheap.
Davis then sent social media into a frenzy with a fiery Instagram post. Quote, "See y'all soon. I guess ATL gonna be too turned. Tell 'em to send that bag and I'm coming." The message was loud and clear. First, Tank is eager to get back in the ring. Second, he wants the business side of the sport respected. In today's boxing world, fighters must balance legacy with financial security, and Davis understands his worth. This wasn't a casual post, it was a declaration. Tank is motivated, locked in, and unwilling to compromise.
I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. Know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, yeah, and that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm, you know.
Even before the fight was official, Davis had made his feelings about Jake Paul known. At one point, he dismissed Paul's boxing journey as trash, reflecting the skepticism many professionals feel toward celebrities crossing into combat sports. Tank even suggested Paul only turned to boxing because he was bored with YouTube. That criticism captures the tension between traditional boxing purists and entertainment-driven newcomers. Yet Paul's persistence has forced even the sports elite to take him seriously. The fact that Davis is now fighting him proves just how far Paul has come, transforming what was once a novelty act into one of the most talked about events in boxing.
What you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they want, what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
The Davis versus Paul showdown has sparked fierce debate. Some purists argue this fight proves boxing has shifted from legacy to spectacle, that it's becoming more circus than sport. Critics claim it undermines the integrity of professional boxing. But history tells a different story. From Ali's charisma to Tyson's pay-per-view dominance, spectacle has always been part of the game. Whether fans see this fight as a joke or a jackpot depends on how they view the balance between boxing's tradition and its entertainment value.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder. Nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Former contender Jesse Hart isn't having the criticism. He blasted detractors, arguing that Tank isn't abandoning legacy. He's navigating modern boxing business. Hart explained, Tank has every right to prioritize financial opportunities, even if some people call it a circus. His defense highlights the divide among fighters. Some believe Tank should chase names like Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez. Others recognize that global paydays, especially against opponents with crossover appeal like Jake Paul, are simply too big to ignore.
Circus, man, that's the circus. If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money in that, involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, I'm not. You got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, who's just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus, and that's what they want to do, to give money to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis. This is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Rope after this, and then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say Lamont Roach, there's still a question mark on that fight. There was still a question mark on that rumble. You just gonna leave it and then go right to the money and say, no, I ain't. That's how you know legacy is, everything don't matter. I did that before. I took the money with the Joe Smith fight when my hand was fucked up and, excuse my language, my hand was messed up, broke in training camp, and I still said, yo, no, I'm taking that, I'm still fighting him. I'm not gonna not fight him again. I'm a fight, we're fighting him, Dad. We're fighting him, Rick. We're fighting him, Fred. I went against everybody. Jesse, don't take the fight, man. Let your hand heal. Let's get the surgery. No, I'm fighting him. It's too close. We 3 weeks out. I'm fighting him.
Adding more fuel to the debate, boxing commentator Andy Ross shocked fans by predicting Jake Paul will win. Ross admitted the fight makes sense for both men, but pointed to Paul's size, self-belief, and awkward style as potential deciding factors. His take isn't popular, but it speaks to the intrigue. Paul may not have Davis's pedigree, but his size and unorthodox approach inject real unpredictability.
Couple more things before I let you go. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Davis.
Crazy.
Your thoughts on this?
I have locks with Snaggy right there. I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way, look, obviously Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing and you know, than a lot of people. But to say that, you know, that's not, everyone's gonna want to watch that fight. I think it's a genius idea. I think Jake Paul sets the craziest expectations, and I think he sets the bar so high now in the boxing world. Jake Paul revived boxing. You know, people could say what they want to say about it, but Jake Paul really revived the sport of boxing. You know, Joe Rogan once said previously, not so long ago, but he did speak about how boxing would eventually die out and all the eyes would shift to MMA. And it's true. I sit there, I'll watch UFC whenever there's an amazing pay-per-view event. I'm always watching it. boxing, I don't really watch it as much. And yeah, you can call me a casual to the sport. I'm just getting into it. But the people that are just getting into the sport, UFC is like the new boxing, what it was 20, 30 years ago. So Jake Paul is changing and reviving the sport of boxing, in my opinion. But I think that Jake Paul wins that fight. I love Gervonta as a fighter. I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power. Don't underestimate him.
You've spoken to him before, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you're doing it was you, Ron Garcia, and Gervonta and Tank when they were both fighting.
Yeah. I just spoke with Gervonta today, actually. So when I get back to Miami, him and I might do something. I don't know. But, you know, I think, like I said, don't count him out, but I think Jake Paul wins that fight.
Not everyone is convinced the fight will even happen. Veteran coach Bernie Dendy dismissed the matchup altogether, saying it lacks purpose and credibility. To him, it's more hype than substance. His skepticism isn't unique. Crossover fights have collapsed in negotiations before. Still, with both Paul and Davis publicly glitted, Bernie's doubts might not hold weight this time. His words, however, highlight the hesitation many inside boxing still feel towards celebrity-driven events.
I don't see, even at an exhibition. Now, first of all, we went with the Mike Tyson thing, right? So Mike Tyson, 60 years old. You know, obviously we all thinking that, you know, he had to pull his punches against Jake. Either one of them, both of them had to do something to get through the fight, you know, so they couldn't do their 100% thing in the fight. Now we talking about a 135-pound guy, 5'3", right, against a 6', 200-pound guy. What is the point of that? I'm asking you, what is the point of that? What is the point of that, and how you think that's gonna go? So Jake Paul, just alone, on strength alone, Tank is not we just seen him struggle with Lamont Roach, right? Who's a guy his size. Now, Jake Paul is not as talented as Lamont Roach, but come on now, we ain't talking about 2 weight classes, we talking about 4, 5, 6 weight classes. Come on, we gotta go from 35, we gotta go to 40, 47, 54, 60, 68, 75, 90. That's 7 weight class difference.
Beyond the money, some analysts see Jake Paul's decision as calculated. For years, he's fought for respect, dismissed as nothing more than a YouTuber dabbling in boxing. But his persistence and wins against former MMA champions have elevated his profile. Facing Davis, an undefeated knockout artist, marks Paul's boldest attempt yet to prove he belongs. Even in defeat, if Paul performs well, his legitimacy as a fighter will be undeniable. For Davis, this fight isn't a risk, it's a global opportunity. Analysts argue that dismantling Paul only boosts Tank's popularity, especially among casual fans who may not follow traditional boxing closely. The worldwide attention Paul commands ensures Tank's name reaches new audiences. And beating Paul doesn't kill the possibility of legacy fights. On the contrary, Davis can still face names like Lamont Roach or Shakur afterward. This fight becomes a springboard, not a setback, expanding Tank's brand before diving back into history-defining matchups.